Greetings, salutations, and welcome. Today I'm talking about the state of the alloy. We're going to talk about what happened at the end of the year, last year, as well as what we're going to be doing going forward from here. At the end of the year last year, around Christmas time, I took the jar from last year, which is now labeled 5, but was labeled 1, dumped it into a crucible with a bunch of other silver from previous melts, and I made a new ingot of silver with the different additions that I've added to it over time. I've also made a new rod out of silver, and I did a bunch of things, including recasting the alloy that I wear around my neck. So I do that if I can every winter solstice. It's a holiday that is not that important to anyone I know, and so I can take that time off, and it happens at the same time roughly every year, so I can use that as a marker. And then I remake all the jewelry that I wear on New Year's Day. So I remade this on New Year's Day, I made this on the winter solstice, so on and so forth. And I've already made the stuff for this year. I've already scattered it around because the goal is to not lose all of it at once. You know, if there's like a house fire or a theft or whatever, no one singular event can cause me to lose it all. It would have to be multiple events. Well, anyway, so you can see that dust was stuck to the sides of this jar. You can see that there's dust and stuff in this jar, as well as like little wires and such. I was doing the shaving of dust into the different jars, and I think I still may do that, but I've also decided that there's a new method I want to use. This new method, I will explain the first time I do it, but roughly what it works out to is I have some tape here that is designed to burn cleanly, as well as decompose completely. And I'm thinking about using that to catch the dust and then cutting those into tiny fragments that then I can add to the jars. And I think that'll look a lot cleaner. Not that the looks of the actual alloy dust matters, but it would also allow me to show you as the viewer that I'm actually collecting materials from these things. So I think there's some benefit there. I may make another video on my little submarine piece just to show you how that starts. I may use the yearly editions to show you how that starts. But let's get over a couple of the things that are here. One thing I'm going to be trying to do is doing more jump cuts. I know jump cuts aren't the world's most popular thing, but I would like to make these videos a little bit more professional, and so cutting out my ums, ahs, and mistakes is going to be very beneficial to the viewer. I hope to get better at this as the year goes on. Anyway, point being, I have shot from last year before I did this year's melt. I took last year's little ingot, I melted it down into shot, and I'm going to cast that into something. Now, what I'm going to cast it in is determined on how the project I'm doing to date goes. So for 2023, I just made a glob. I rolled it out, stamped it 2023, and so this is alloy from the 2023 melt. For the 2025 melt, I've actually gotten decent at rolling rod stock. I'm really impressed at myself with how I've been able to do this. So what I'm going to do today on video here is I'm going to be hammering this out so that I have a flat area to stamp 2025 on, and then I have a nice area I can shave material off on the other end. Maybe that's what I'll do. So if I like the way that looks, I'll melt down this 10 grams of material and turn it into one of these little rods. So I think I'm going to get started at that, but I also wanted to show you guys. I made a ring. It's not the most round ring in the world. It is, however, very flat, which I appreciate. And I'm quite impressed with myself that I was able to make this basic ring. Hopefully I'll be getting better at that because I want to be able to turn these rings into nice circular small rings for pendants, as well as making rings for people to wear. I'm very, very happy with that. But this is made out of the alloy, and now that I've been able to cast rod stock as well as I've been able to, I'm very proud of, well, the fact that I can do this stuff now. I used to have to cast this really thick rod stock because that was all I was comfortable making, and that just doesn't work. I can't roll that out easily. I can't work that easily. but now with this thinner stock, I can make it. All right, I'm probably going to speed this up anyway and cut the sound, so it doesn't matter that there's someone doing lawn work in the background, but I do hear someone doing lawn work in the background. I'm now going to hammer out the end of this so I have a nice flat area to work. I expect this to be, like I said, sped up. All right, time to go anneal that. Just so you're aware, not that I expect you to hear what I'm saying, because like I said, I'm expecting this to be sped up. You can hear the sound of the silver changing, and that tells you how hard the silver is. The rule of thumb typically is you can reduce it by about a third before you have to re-soften the metal.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to see if I can show this to the camera. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Nice little 25. I guess I could have fit 2025 on there, and maybe I will next time. But now we have a nice rod that is labeled with the year of the melt, and I can take material off the edge here as I so desire. So maybe I'll do that with that. We will see. I'm really liking this new method, though, of collecting with the little bits of tape. As if you see, I just have a couple small chunks of silver ring in here, along with little balls of tape that contain material. I just think it's a cleaner look. It also would allow me to ensure that everything gets poured into the melt when the time comes. And to some extent, the tape itself will help the metals remove oxides. Some people say it incorporates other materials, which yes, it does. But one of the things it does do is it gives oxygen something to bond with as it burns off as CO2. So it's going to help make the kiln a little bit more, or I guess a little less reactive. And it might help remove some of the oxides from the material. Hopefully going forward, there'll be more of these shorter videos that are a little bit better edited. I'm hoping to get better at this as time goes on. I made a mistake earlier and posted some Pokemon playthrough videos because it's something I enjoy doing, but it's not necessarily what the audience enjoys watching. I didn't expect people to watch it. I expected it to be more of a screensaver for different purposes I have, but it did drive a couple viewers away. So I'm going to be posting those unlisted going forward, but I still want to make them. If you're interested in having a Pokemon named after you for not this playthrough, but next playthrough, let me know. And, the first, let's say 3 people who say they want a Pokemon named after them, tell me what Pokemon from Pokemon Gold you want me to catch and name after you and beat the Elite Four with. Please don't say something that takes way too much time in the game corner or the Safari Zone. I don't think there is a Safari Zone in Generation 2, but I'll find out. It's been years since I played. I don't think I've really played Generation 2 since it came out, though I did play with my friend a couple years back, probably in about 2011, but that was some time ago. We gave up and went to Sun and Moon when our batteries died and our cartridges. So anyway, we're moving forward. We're going to do exclusively the history and alloy working videos on this channel as public videos, maybe some ceramic making videos, maybe some of the interviews that I've done in the past, but I just got to get the ball rolling. So the state of the alloy is as follows for the year. I still have the 10 jars, but I'm going to probably be adding 2 new jars. One I'm referring to as the carry jar, and then one of them will be an ad for this year jar. I used to have a ad for this year jar and a carry jar. I know that was redundant to what I just said, but I didn't add the this year jar to the melt this year. So I've now decided that that's purely going to be a mistake jar. If I ever have a mistake, that's the jar that will get added to the alloy. So I needed to add one more jar. Anyway, going forward, that's what we're going to do. I'll probably make a better one of these videos in a few weeks when I get more practice and keep trying. I will not delete videos from my channel if at all possible. I'll probably just turn them into unlisted videos. But thank you for sticking with me to this point. And I'm hoping to do a more history educational video for something I'm going to add here shortly. I may do personal stories, but I think the personal stories may just go up on the channel and then be unlisted so that it doesn't hopefully get into the algorithm too much, because I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rambles here. I'm going to edit this video up, see if I like it enough to post. If I don't like it enough to post, you're still going to see it, but you're going to see it as an unlisted video on my channel. All right, guys, I thank you very much and wish you all the best in what you do. Bye.